Hey everybody, we've got a digital projection iVision 30SX Plus W-XL that has a bad color wheel, because that's what's been falling out. In fact, this is why it was sent in. So I'm going to open it up and see how bad and see if the color wheel is available. Just have one screw left to take out. I already took out the others. It uses a T10. It has these long guys that go in there, and this one has a short throw lens on it. These use I'm assuming magnesium, maybe it's aluminum, but I think it's magnesium. That's all metal. And then there's the main board. It's a nice looking board. Wow, it's really pretty. Got a reset, another button. I guess these are for accessories that aren't used in this model. And color wheel, that's the drive motor for the color wheel. And it says sense, so I'm assuming that's the color wheel speed sensor. He did take the lamp out, so there's no lamp in it. The color wheel's going to be underneath here, so this board has to come out next. And that will also be, nope, these might be T8. Yeah, T8. Alright, one moment. Alright, I got those screws out, but it seems like this is going to be a little tough. I'm going to have to finagle or probably take those screws out down there. But before I do that, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the electronics. Pardon me, I noticed that this must not have been cheap to make. Instead of using a custom chip, they have an Altera ASICs in there. Then it looks like some RAM. This is the color wheel drive chip right here. It's a stepper driver. Has I believe it's a 2-pole stepper inside the color wheel, and then more RAM, some sort of motor control. I'm sure it's big enough, and then some small. I don't know what these guys are, but probably power supply stuff, because there's some inductors. There's a battery, some big diodes, probably Schottky diodes. Actually, this might be a microcontroller, because there's a oscillator there, but I'm pretty sure these guys are all power supply. That's power supply and power supply stuff. Then we got the ballast over here, MOSFETs for driving the output. Not a real bright lamp in this, but it's a very efficient lamp. You get a good amount of light for the wattage. Forget exactly what it is, but I want to say it's around 200 or 180, something like that. Then we got some fans, and then this massive lens. The weight of this projector is because of this lens. I mean, this thing's massive. It's really heavy. This here, it's probably 10 or 15 pounds, maybe even 20 pounds, but it's all in that lens. So anyway, let me get that vent out of the way and then get these screws out so we can get the board out. Ah, I see. So that's hooked up there. I'm gonna pop this guy out and pop that little plastic rivet out so we can separate the rear from the ballast. And I'm gonna start unplugging some wires too. Lamp control, fan, sense wire, and even though it's probably hosed, I'm still going to be careful when I unplug the color wheel. That one I'll just have to get once I get the board loose. So let me pop this out and I'll be right back. It's more or less loose. Now I have to unplug that power wire right there. This actually looks a lot like an InFocus. I wonder if they have the same manufacturer. There we go. Yeah, this looks a lot like an old InFocus or old Toshiba. I wonder if they have any connection. Just the color of the board, that Molex connector, it's just very, very similar. There's the DLP stuff, power supply stuff. It's a nice board. And then here's the insides. There's a lamp fan. It's actually not too dirty for how old it is. I mean, it's not great, but I've seen much newer that look much worse. So this optical assembly has to come out. I'm going to leave the DLP chip attached. I don't want to have to worry about aligning that, but we got to get in here. So this has to come out. 2 screws, and then 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, but probably just 1, 2, 3. Let's see how that works. And I'm gonna leave those 2 screws in. This has enough flex without overdoing it. I was able to pop it loose. So let's see. Yep, just kind of slides right out. And there's, that's definitely seen better days. Let's move back over here so we can look. So this segment totally detached itself. The glue goes bad that holds those guys in over the years from all the heating and cooling. That's an aluminum plate, so that aluminum's gonna expand and contract and eventually pop the glue loose. That's a shame, but that's what it needs. That's alright. I mean, it's an older projector. It's bound to happen. So let's get into there. How do we do that? Carefully, I imagine. Yep. Focus. 1, 2. Those guys come out, and it probably loosens that whole thing. Let me see if I can find a way I can mount this lens so I can work on it with it vertical. And there's a little foam block I can use to set that in. Like I said, I'm going to leave the DLP chip, but I'm going to take these guys out. That way I can get the color wheel off. That's with the cover off. Got these 2 screws, they come out, and then the cover just pops off. Has the position sensor in there, has an infrared thing right here that monitors the index mark, that little black mark. So it's reflecting until that mark comes by, and then that sends a pulse and tells it that the index mark has gone past, and that's set up in the software to tell it where it's at. So it just slides off, and yeah, it's seen better days. I don't know if I have any of these. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to have to order one. But they're still readily available, so that's a good thing. Let's check and see how much a new one is. Yeah, I just set that other loose segment back in there. Still missing the rest of it. And it's not going to be this whole thing. It's just going to be the motor section with the glass. I'm going to see what the part number is. I do have some, but this does not ring a bell for one that I trust. So I'm going to see about a new one. Hopefully this is it. Sure looks like it. I mean, the picture's a little off, but that might be it. I sent them an email to see if this is the right one, so once I hear back, we will continue. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2.